Welcome to Kaleidoscope S4IG Let's Talk. Christmas is the time for festivities, but it is also the time for caring for others. Did you know that there are more than 1.6 million persons living with disabilities in Sri Lanka? UNICEF Sri Lanka released a report in 2016 noting that 86% of the population aged 20 to 24 are not engaged in any educational or vocational activities. The Rehabilitation Center for the Communication Impaired is a non-profit that has been around since 1993, caring for children and adults with special needs. Now, I did a quick turn at the RCCI recently and met some very interesting people who were all in the throes of making Christmas cards, Christmas wrapping paper, bags and gift tags and sharing some good cheer this festive season. This is Shweta. Smile. And Shweta is at the Rehabilitation Center for the Communication Impaired. The center actually brings in adults who are communication impaired and keeps them for half of the day, teaching them all kinds of skills, not just at Christmas to make all these wonderful gift cards and wrapping paper and bags and cards, but also everyday skills, which Nayanalie, who is a speech and language therapist, will talk about in a little while. Nayanalie, welcome. It's been 29 years since the RCCI was established in Sri Lanka. In all those years, what have you learned?
Well, when Mrs. Shirani Joseph Deseram established RCCI almost 30 years ago, there was little or no provision for special education, and very little was discussed about employment for people with intellectual disability. But in those years, the concept of inclusion has changed and the opportunities that children have for education has changed. But for us as an institution, the main learning point for us is about not focusing on impairment, but also focusing on ability and also what people or the people with intellectual disabilities themselves want for themselves. It's about their own goals and then supporting them to develop those as transferable skills that will last throughout their lifespan.
So what are the common misconceptions about those with communication impairment?
I think the main thing is that people think if someone can't communicate, they're incapable of everything else. When in actual fact, communication is only just one part of a person and what they're able to do. It's about supporting somebody to make a meaningful contribution, and often we forget that, and we forget that providing an opportunity is what we need to do.
How do we add a more inclusive approach to integrating them into society? This is from after what you've said that we forget. So how do we do that?
I think inclusion is not just a tick box exercise, it's an attitude. And as long as we forget that there is a person and someone with hopes and dreams and goals and abilities behind the person with the communication impairment, we are far from an inclusive society. As long as we look at communication impairment as a disease, we are far away from inclusion. So inclusion is about providing people opportunities to make meaningful contributions.
So what do you want us as a society to do?
Well, firstly, what I would say is inclusion is not a tick box exercise. It's an attitude. It's not about sympathy. It's about giving people opportunities. It's about understanding about someone's ability and understanding their disability, but offering them the opportunity to make a meaningful contribution. And whether it's about, including someone in an educational space, whether it's providing an adult with intellectual disability supported employment, whether it's offering them a job, buying their products, you're giving them a chance. It's about giving them skills and supporting them throughout their lifespan.
So it is Christmas and it's not much to ask people, just to be understanding, to integrate people with disabilities into everything that we do basically, right? Absolutely. Thank you, Nayanalie.
Thank you.
A big thank you to our partners. It is they who make Christmas special. Skills for Inclusive Growth and Australian Aid, Srilanka Life, CDB, The Morning Newspaper, Park Street Gourmet and Zip Zip. Thank you. If you like Kaleidoscope, subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Then you won't miss out.